I'm joined by the amazing Allison O'Toole, Dan Price, Andre Owen, Fred Kennedy,
Chip Zdarsky. Chip, thanks for coming.
What's up, folks? I'm your host, Konrad, on Wednesday Night Reviews, and tonight we are joined by Michael Odin, who is a wonderful comics creator, and we are going to talk about their new book, Elysian Fields Reborn. Michael, thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me. And before we get started, I just have to say I am incredibly jealous that you got to sit down and have like a one-on-one with Chip Zdarsky, because that's freaking awesome. His Captain America book that's coming out is like the top of my anticipated titles for this summer. Zdarsky writes a fantastic Steve Rogers. If you've never read his Invaders run or even Avengers Twilight, he does a really good job with Steve there. Love Zdarsky's work. And so I'm very excited to see what he brings to the Sentinel of Liberty. I'm a huge Captain America fan. So
hell yeah. I mean, it was definitely one of my most high profile interview. And one of my best, like, to do what I do and do my interviews right. I like to research the people a little bit. I like to make sure I've read a good chunk of the content and as much as I can and formulate questions. And when I'm reaching out to someone like Chip Zdarsky, I pre-make 10 questions up. Good chunk of it you're going to end up getting tonight anyway, the same kind of stuff, but the body of it's a little different. And yeah, he just seemed sort of into it. And when I was researching him, he was like, it's kind of an interesting, different kind of guy. And I even, like, in the interview that I did, like, it is online. I was like, Chip, I wasn't sure what I was going to get out of you tonight, because sometimes I've seen you're really weird and quirky. Other times you can be very serious, and like I got a good balance of both that day. So yeah, it was very fun.
that's awesome.
Hell yeah, it was good times. But yes, so we are here to talk about you tonight, specifically Nine Realms Publishing's newest book, Elysian Fields Reborn. So Michael, for the folks out there in YouTube land who've never seen your face, never heard your name, who is Michael Odin?
Well, first of all, to all of those people that haven't seen me before, I'm sorry that you have to see me now. I appreciate you bearing through it. But my name is Michael Odin, as I said. Nine Realms Publishing is my own publishing, comic publishing imprint, which I started 5 years ago in around 2020. And Elysian Fields Reborn is actually a reboot of the first series that I did when I came into comics back then. My first series was Elysian Fields issue 0, which we funded on Indiegogo and had a very large success. And then that gave me the energy to go like right into book 2, where I promptly smashed my face into concrete and lost a lot of money, which is the indie story. This is a game of, it's a marathon, not a race. And so I learned a lot of lessons between those first 2 books. The second book almost broke me. And then I had a pretty big success with a character called the Embrace that I created in 2021 with my co-creator and artist, Dean James. And pretty much since then, I've been doing this pretty steadily at about a book or 2 per year since. And it's been a pretty fantastic experience. I've gotten to work with tons of great creators and, find a lot of really cool industry talent that hasn't been discovered yet, but also get to work with industry talent that I never thought that I would get a chance to. And that's been quite possibly like the coolest part of this, right? Is like one moment you're displaying somebody's artwork to the world and getting them noticed for the first time. And then on the other hand, with this book in particular, I got to work with V. Ken Marion and Andrew Dahlhaus. And like both of those people are really freaking big names. And I sent V. Ken Marion's art agent like an inquiry at as a half desperate joke. And then like he hit me up as like, what is this? We're interested. And I just went,
oh, cool.
Okay, well, let me tell you the pitch. And I talked to them and they loved it. And V-Ken did just a tremendous job on his cover. And Andrew Dahlhaus just crushed it on the color works. It's such a great piece. But yeah, so like that's really my stories. I came into this industry and I've kind of built myself up over the past 5 years. It's not been easy. There's been some highs, there's been some lows, but like I love telling these stories. And you know, I've been fortunate in that my stories have connected with people, and I've built a pretty solid following based around that. And you know, I'd like to think that I've proven myself as a pretty capable storyteller, and that's, you know, what led to me doing the Elysian Fields Reborn, was kind of taking this property that had kind of fallen on its face and taking everything that I had learned in the past 5 years, applying that to it, and really making it the book that I know I can make now as somebody that I feel is comfortable enough to say that I'm professional.
Awesome. No, I love that. And you know what? I think you're right. I think the indie comics game, I think the comics game, period, just to be clear, is absolutely a road wrought with problems that just want to beat you down. And I mean, you can say that about a lot of things in life.
Yeah.
But on the creative end of it, yeah, like from what I have gathered in circles, the creative circles I've traveled, whether it's people who do sculpture, visual arts, digital arts, music, there seems to definitely be a unique hell when it comes to comics. And I think it's revolved around the sheer cost of it, because it is so much visual art to be able to do it, especially now that AI is a thing. And if you are not so diligent and steadfast in your conviction of it, it's really easy to want to go, oh, I can just and have a page of comics.
It's crazy to me, speaking as somebody who has funded all of these books off of my own capital, right? It is crazy to me that there are people that are willing to take, obviously people want to see their creation, come to life, but nothing in life comes without hard work and sacrifice. Nothing good in life comes without those things. It honestly feels almost like a deal with the devil, right? Like you click that button and generate the image, and yeah, some of the AI art that you're seeing come out there looks completely competent, but it lacks soul.
Yeah,
like it's back in the 90s, there was a movie called it's not Bedazzled. It's got like a very similar concept to that. But it's this movie with Alec Baldwin. I can't remember what it's called, but effectively this writer sells his soul to the devil so that way he can become successful. And so the devil, makes sure, fulfills their end of the bargain, and his life kind of comes apart, and he loses all of his friends and everything like that to his fame. And so he ends up taking the devil to court over like a breach of contract, and Anthony Hopkins is defending him as the one guy that's beaten the devil in this court before. And one of the big things that he does is he brings up these guys' old friends that died and were alienated because of his fame. It's like, so she made Shortcut to Happiness. Yes, this is the movie. So they bring, the big moment is they bring up this guy's friend who died, who was also a struggling writer. And it was like, do you think that she actually improved his work? And he goes, well, I mean, it wasn't a successful book. Wasn't it? That's not what we asked. Did it improve his work? Did you feel that the book that made him a success was actually his best work? It's like, no, it was the most lifeless thing he'd ever written. And that's how he wins. That's how he wins the case. It straight up feels like that freaking movie. It's like you generated this art. And yeah, there are some of these things that if you know what you're doing well enough, it'll generate something that's completely competent, but you can immediately tell.
Oh, yeah.
You can almost immediately tell that it's AI. And no matter how much that line becomes more blurred over the years, there's always going to be something that you can tell, like this isn't made by a real person, and this was a shortcut somebody took. And it just blows my mind that you would be willing to do that, because it's expensive, but that's dinner on the table, right? I work with
Exactly.
I work with a lot of artists that are based in like the Philippines, Brazil,
Yep.
all over the place. And like, yeah, it's expensive. You're paying these guys' mortgage so that they can feed their kids. Like,
Yep.
because at the end of the day, this is an industry and it's just as cruel and unforgiving as any. These guys need work. This is what they studied. This is what they became proficient at. This is their profession.
Yeah.
You need to respect that. If you want to be a part of this industry, that's part of the human experience of this industry.
100%. Like, it's one of the things too. I do another show called My Sketchy Goodness with a local artist, Keith Grachow. And he and I have talked about AI extensively. And we will absolutely be talking about your book in the next question.
It's all
So
good,
very
man. This is
soon.
a great conversation. I'm really enjoying this.
Yeah. Well, thank you. And one of the things that Keith brought up to me, because in my mind, AI, the genie's out of the bottle, right? Like it is out.
Yeah.
It is an available thing. You can do it. Many of the large tech companies are forcibly integrating it into their software, whether you want
Yes.
it there or not. Thankfully, I have a Pixel 7 and I can opt out of their Gemini thing and still use Google. Like, okay, Google, directions to work or whatever.
Yeah.
But yes, absolutely. Every little program is forcing it now. But one thing that Keith said that really stuck with me is, as an artist, as anyone in the creative field of visual arts, the moment you use it and that comes out, one, the fact that I'm saying the statement, if that comes out, already this is a bad thing. But Keith said basically, he was like, the moment you use it and someone knows, every single drawing you have ever done and every single drawing you will ever do, even if you're a completely competent artist, is now in question. Did you
Yes.
really do that? Or did you AI generate it and fix the hands or fix the feet or, go over it and retrace and redo the hair or whatever? Is this the thing that you fixed or did you actually make it? And I think that is a crucial thing. Especially like going forward, like one of my biggest fears about that when it comes to like the local indie community and creative people in general is for all the folks out there who are absolutely busting their hump, getting amazing at what they do, like the artists on Elysian Fields Reborn, and putting out, maybe they're making fan art posters, maybe they are making little zines, maybe they're making stickers and doing fun stuff like this. Whatever it is, if that's their drawing, if that's their thing, and that's how they're passionate and that's what they're pursuing, my fear is a consumer who walks into Fan Expo, which is like our biggest con in the area, sees that and goes, "Oh, that's probably just AI, though."
Yeah.
The fact that someone could go, "That's probably just AI. I don't actually want to buy that." It's like now its existence is negatively potentially affecting someone who busted their ass to make amazing art just because it exists, and that scares me. I don't think it's happened yet.
And to pile on to that, this is speaking to, as I am working with an artist on another project who is very big in the animating world, and those companies are making allowance for the use of up to 20% AI, and it is costing people thousands of jobs. Like thousands of people have lost their jobs over this.
Oh yeah,
And it is causing a
animators,
major issue in the animation world. And so to talk about the negative impact of this, like you literally just took by using this, you have just taken the food out of thousands of people's tables. You have prevented those people from being able to provide for their families, provide for themselves, provide for their pets, provide for anything. And you've taken it all away for what? A few lies, and it's like these major companies that are making millions of dollars off of these animated productions, like sometimes billions, between the actual revenue made in like box office and then merchandising, right? Like you're talking about pennies on the dollar that they're losing out paying these freaking animators, and they've lost their jobs because you can click a button.
Oh, exactly.
That's
Like, it's crazy.
fucked. Pardon my
Yeah,
French.
It's no, hey, 100%. Yeah, it's wild, and it's definitely something that I know Keith thinks a lot about. I am very concerned with it, but again, I'm of the opinion that genie's out of the bottle. Like, it
Yeah.
exists. It is now a thing that happens.
I mean,
but yes,
the good thing I will say is on that convention bit, a lot of conventions do not allow AI artists.
yeah,
And I say that as a thing of that is how they label themselves. That is not what they are. Like
Yeah.
like you are not an AI artist. You are a person who took the shortcut to happiness. You wanted to make your idea come to life in a comic book, but you didn't want to have to pay the money to get it there. You took the shortcut to happiness. Good for you, buddy. Reap what you sow.
Yeah, 100%.
Like
now
you
that
could
being
have
said,
easily given those same prompts to. Sorry. Yes. Back to the other
no,
question.
hey, yeah. So the important part, you have, however, paid an artist. They've done some wonderful
Yes.
work for you. So my second question, topical question, for tonight, and I'm going to bring up the campaign here, is Michael, what is Elysian Fields Reborn?
All right. So Konrad, on its base value, Elysian Fields is Mortal Kombat with Heroes of Mythology, right?
Nice.
Like that's
okay.
That's
I'm in.
That's like at its most simplistic form. That is what it is. When you look at our story, it is a story about Achilles. So we start off Elysian Fields, and we're at his final battle at Troy.
Right on.
So we see him fight the Ethiopian king Memnon, and then he goes off. You have the whole thing where Paris shoots him in the heel. He dies. He goes to the afterlife. He reunites with Patroclus. This happens for about like 30 seconds before he's ripped out of that piece and he's brought to an arena. And there at this arena is Heracles and Hyppolite fighting Gilgamesh and Enkidu, and he has to go in and help them. And he's been brought there by Hades. And so the whole thing is that there's this tournament in the underworld to establish which deity gets to lord over it and hold dominion over the underworld. And Hades hasn't competed in ages. And so now there are some concerns he has. And so he has brought this team together to win him this tournament. And Achilles is the prized stallion that he has brought in to try and make sure that he wins.
Wow. Okay. I dig that. I am so in. Man, you've thrown me a curveball now. I love it. So I guess the fundamental question that I have then is, and I love this question. So anyone who's watching this and who's watched at least one other of my interviews, you're probably gonna go, "Oh, this one again." When it comes to history comics, anything history in general, but history comics, I find often a lot of the folks that are doing these books like to do their fair bit of research. Now, given you've gone after a bunch of different deities, mythological heroes, gods, what level of research went into all of this? Because it's such a wicked concept.
So,
yeah,
all right. To give you a little bit of my background, my bachelor's degree is in history, with a focus on classical antiquities. My senior seminar was on Alexander the Great's adoption of Persian customs. Growing up, my bedtime story was the Iliad. I've read the Iliad and the Odyssey both dozens of times. The Iliad is my favorite of the two. I've read it over 20 times. And I've read it once in the classical Greek, even though I didn't understand jack shit because I was terrible at Greek. I was terrible. I took Greek for like one semester and I dropped it. I was like, it's really freaking hard. Classical Greek is no joke. But point is, so when it comes down to the Greek characters, I have a lot of background there. Heracles is pretty easy. Like Hippolyta was actually the one I did the most research for on this, because like characters like Heracles and Achilles are pretty concrete. We know their stories. They've kind of been preserved through the test of time. Hippolyta is a bit more nebulous. She's a bit of a side character. She's never the hero of any of these things. She's always supporting cast. And so her role will frequently change. And so it was a lot of taking the pieces that I liked from each representation to build a Hippolyta that I thought best fit the story. And I think I've really crushed that. Like I'm not one that pats myself on the back overly, but like I do really think that Hippolyta is just fantastic, and she brings such a great dynamic to this book. And that's actually like one of the big changes, because when I did this initially, it was initially Achilles, Heracles, and Theseus. And I changed it. I changed it to have Hippolyta. So like I really, really like how that's turned out. But then when it comes into the other stuff, like, you know, getting ready for this, for writing these first 2 issues, because the first issue is obviously done, but like I have pretty much the first arc written. I kind of see this as an ongoing that will be up to 30 issues. If we can keep going. Like that's how I have it mapped. And so Hippolyta, when it comes down to the Epic of Gilgamesh characters, I read Epic of Gilgamesh between writing the first book and the second book 5 or 6 times. Just to get, like, make sure I was getting the, and like it was fantastic. So like when I was writing this, I was getting to start the second issue, and I was finishing up a reread, and I went to bed that night, and at like 3:40 in the morning something clicked, and I just went, I know how I'm going to handle this. And I woke up and I started writing, and I had the first pass of issue 2 done within the next day.
Oh wow,
like,
good for you.
Like so like my thing is that when I get something, I write fast. Then I'll hit moments where like I'll only get like little bits of things here or there, and then my writing slows down. Like issue 3 took, like, by comparison, took me like a month and a half, right? Woof. So like I was having issues with how, like, there were certain parts of it where I knew how I wanted to do, but how to bridge the gap between those parts became like, I don't really know what I want to do here.
Yeah.
And so then like issue 4, I didn't even have anything in my head for issue 4 for a while. Like I knew what I needed to do in the issue, but then I got this idea of how I wanted to handle it. And that one I wrote in like 2 or 3 days. Like it came, the iron strikes hot. I'm finishing up issue 5 right now. It's taken me about 2 weeks, but like,
nice.
That's how it goes for me with writing these things. Sometimes it's super freaking super quick, and other times it's like banging your head against the wall. But the big advantage is that I'm writing a comic script, not a novel. And I think that this is something that a lot of writers miss. Like, this is like writing a comic script is like this weird hybrid between technical and creative writing, because like at the end of the day, no one's going to read your actual script. They're just going to read the stuff that's the dialogue, right? So, but at the same time, you don't want to be so boring that you don't inspire imagery from your artist. So there's like this weird blend where you're like, yes, I'm going to tell you like what I want to have happen in this panel and this page, this, that, the other, but I've got to spruce it up a bit, because like I want you to be inspired to put the same level of emotion that this page needs. And so like there's like a trade-off there.
That's, you know what, I have never heard anyone say it that way, and I think that is fascinating to think about. Because like you said, no one, unless you make some sort of like extended cut where you put the notes in, no one's going to see your script. They're reading panels and dialogue.
I honestly would dread anyone seeing my script. The big reason for that is like, look at how many people go and look at Alan Moore's scripts and go,
oh yeah,
this is horrifying. Why would you do this to an artist? It's like, here's 8 paragraphs to explain how I want this one panel to be. It's like, bro, no one needs that level of editorial shit. Like, no one. Like, it literally, your description of any panel or page really shouldn't be over like 4 or 5 sentences. You did 8 paragraphs about a camera angle, dude. Camera angle.
Like,
it's insane.
No, 100%. Like I've seen that breakdown. Like in the house I have like 3 different versions of Watchmen, and one of them has the script pages in it, and they're crazy. And I think the funniest thing I've seen, I don't know if it was in the Anointed version or if it was or annotated, or if it was like a shot from a video or something. But yeah, someone had a page of his script and it was just text. Like, it was just purely, it felt like it was just like flow state words on page. And then I guess Dave Gibbons, the artist on the book, had come up and just gone, highlight this line and this line. And that's all he needed, because he was like, this is what tells me everything. This is the visual component of what you've explained. There's your panel. Crazy. Yeah, it's wild sometimes what people do, but it's fascinating that you mention it like that. Just because I've never heard it framed like that, and I enjoy it. So when it comes to your script, then, like you said, you're balancing creative writing and I think the term used was like
technical writing. So it's technical writing, because like effectively what technical writing is you're breaking down an advanced concept for easy to follow steps, right? Like, hey, I want to convey this scene. This is how I want to do it. Break down panel structure, everything like that, into easy to grasp concepts that can go across language barriers. As I said, I'm working with a lot of artists that are international, and while a good deal of them do speak English, it helps if one of them, say, needs to use a translator where I am they're no longer being flummoxed by, here is this massive English word. What does that even mean? And then they're because like English is a very poetic language. We have 12 synonyms for any given word to make it sound more flowery or romantic. And so like, yeah, it's cool to use those words in dialogue. You should never be putting that crap in your panel descriptions. Your artist doesn't need that flowery stuff. Yeah, absolutely. Make sure that you're making it known that you want specific emotions evoked in a page, right? And as I said, while the audience is never going to read the script, your writer is, your artist is rather. And I am a big believer of, I want the people on my art team to be as psyched about the story as I am. Right? It makes it such a more personal experience. It creates a huge bond between everybody when everyone is just pumped. And I'm very fortunate in that the art team that I've worked with on this book is absolutely fantastic. They're beyond professional, and like, it honestly destroys me that Will has not been picked, has never worked for either of the big two. He's fast, he's reliable, and his art is fantastic. Like, the pencil work that he does for these books is insane. I am very much considering, when we do like our trades, to do like an unwrapped edition of each of them and have cool. and have it just be pencils, because like Will's pencil work is unparalleled. Like, he is phenomenal. And he works completely traditional.
Yeah. Oh, that is sick. So there must be some really crazy originals out there.
Dude, we have the original of his cover. I actually, hold on one second. I'll pull that out and show it off.
For sure. Just for contrast, this is the final version.
All right. So here's that.
Oh my god.
Yeah, look at that thing.
Wow.
You have no idea how much, like, I am both happy and, like, on the one hand, it would be great for my campaign if this sold. But if it doesn't, guess who's hanging up on my wall?
Oh, absolutely. That needs
Bet
to
your
be
ass
changed.
this is.
Yeah.
Like, and it's insane because, like, I see all of the work that he does, and it's just like, how do you not, like, how are you just an indie artist? Like, and I don't say that in like a negative thing, but like, and like a while back, he apparently won like a contest with Marvel to go in and do that, and then they ghosted him. They never got in touch. Him and the other winner, neither of them were picked up, and I was just like, what on earth?
Yeah, that's crazy. Like, one of the I will say, one of the things that when I opened the campaign originally and started checking it out, absolutely the art floored me, because there's a level of polish, like your whole creative team, mind you, colorists as well, and everybody. There is a level of polish and finish to this book that is stunning, and absolutely the art style goes a very long way at making that happen. But yeah, your whole creative team, the way the colors are done, everything is fantastic. Yeah, just that's the way it is. Now, quick question, Michael. The book itself, I believe, is 44 pages, correct?
Yes, 44 pages of story, and then I threw in, because I'm a nice guy, I threw in a 6-page preview for book 2.
Oh, right on.
It's the pencils, but as I said, you get a 6-page sneak peek of what you're going to get in book 2, as well as the official cover reveal of issue 2, which is, oh man, people aren't ready. It's as great as this cover is. The cover for book 2 is on a whole other level. Like, it's ridiculous.
I mean, you know what? That just goes to show you your creative team is sort of getting dialed in. They're understanding what they're making better.
Dude,
they're more comfortable with the characters.
The pages on the campaign are the worst pages in the book.
Oof, this is gonna be a good book.
like this is them at like the beginning, right? Like, we did 12 pages for a 12-page preview, and I had them do some later pages to show off the tournament, so that way we could use that, and we built a trailer and everything like that. Ruvian, our colorist, upgraded his color work and brought in a new technique. Hold on, let me show you. Because the best part about this is I actually have the book.
You have it.
Yeah, look at this.
Oh, it's beautiful.
And then hold on. So, like, here's this page, which is like right at the end of our first 12.
Okay.
Right? So these are part of that worst batch. This is the first page Ruvian turned in with the new art, with the new color work style.
Wow. Yeah, that's a lot.
Like it straight up came out. I was like, dude, this was like a freaking oil painting. This is gorgeous. And you're just like, yeah. You know. And like that's the crazy part. Like, that's the fun part about it, is you kind of get to see the art develop. And like, none of those pages are bad. Like, they're all already fantastic. And like this page came out beautifully in there. Like, look at how look at that. But and so that's the other big great thing about this, is the book's done. The book's done, and as of today, we crossed the 4K stretch goal. So look at that. You see that? Every single person who backs this cover of the book, lava holofoil.
Love it. So okay, you've mentioned you passed the 4K mark. So again, the campaign here in Canadian dollars, your goal is 4,152, which I'm guessing is something like 3K,
Three grand.
3,400,
3K was
3
what we
grand.
reached. Yeah.
Yeah, and so in Canadian, 4,152, you're at $5,810. You've got 115 backers. You've got 34 days to go. So I do want to ask, how long did you set the campaign for in total?
I set it for 60 days, and there's a reason for that. Every single person that runs a Kickstarter goes, "Why the fuck would you do that?" And I go, "Well, the answer is I've run all of my campaigns on Indiegogo at this point, and every single one of them have been 60 days, and that's what I'm used to."
It's just
so like
okay.
on Indiegogo, oh, my fiance's entered the chat. Hi, Miranda.
Oh, hello, Miranda.
So, on Indiegogo, the way that you normally do it is you run a first 30, and then they give you the option to extend. And so you extend for a second 30, and you use that as kind of like a hype tool. That obviously is not how Kickstarter works. Kickstarter is way more about FOMO, and I'm still learning how to use it. So I went, yes, we will set the 60-day window, and that will be great. And I'm like, never doing that again, because oh my God, is it anxiety inducing? Because like there are a lot of people who be like, this looks like a really cool project. I'm going to bookmark it, and then that way, when it comes down to the last week, I will back then, because I don't want to be waiting for the money to draw out of my account for like 2 months and then be surprised. So it was just one of those things where like, I'm still learning how to use the platform. This is only the second Kickstarter that I've run successfully. I can say that because no matter what, this is a success. Like this is going to be like
done.
We're past the funding goal. We're very well past the funding goal. So unless something very tragic happens, the book's getting to you guys. And so like that's the whole deal. It's just a force of habit. I made it 60 days. I know it was like every single person who's ever run a Kickstarter that sees this goes, and I'm like, I realize that.
Yeah.
Well, that's a me bad.
No, you know what? Like you said, it's what you're used to, and it's what Indiegogo, that platform, sort of trained into you, which is fair. But yeah, it's funny because like a lot of the time I see a comic creator that's brand new to anything, right? Like this is their first campaign, period, and they're always like, "I'm gonna do 30 days," and I'm like, "Cool, by all means, it's a good chunk of window."
Yes,
you can get some upfront people to be like, "Oh yeah, let's get in on this," and then that gives you time to do the ramp, to do all the podcasts and the shows and the posting and the tweeting and the whatever, to build that marketing time. It's just I've hit a point, or not I've hit a point. Other creators I've interviewed and have had on the show a number of times have all turned to me and they're like, "Yeah, I'm doing 2 weeks." I'm like, "What?" They're like, "Yeah, it's a 2-week campaign." They're like, I've got enough of a following that the people that want my stuff, that know me, are going to just come back. And anyone who's new, they're going to see this and go, "I should get this because it's only 2 weeks." And I'm like, fair. I've always been like, that feels like not enough time to do all the shows and the things. But I mean, it works. So I don't know. I've never done it, so
like it's a whole thing where I was on a show a couple weeks ago, and one of the panelists actually was talking about this, and they're like, we've kind of found that like 16 days is our sweet spot, where like we get all of the people that back all of our stuff, and we're usually able to grab a couple more new people. And at the end of the day, like as much as I love going on the shows and talking to people and everything like that, it is an emotional and physical drain to do. It takes time.
Oh, yeah.
As fun as it is, it wipes you out, and that affects your life. And so it's important to make sure that you're keeping that work-life balance thing that I keep hearing about, but I'm terrible at. But yeah, I get it, and I think that when we do the next issue, I'll probably do a 20-day campaign. I think that gives Like that's a solid amount of time. Miranda pulling no punches.
Oh my
He's
God,
awful at it.
Miranda.
Oh my God.
Oh.
I was driving back from her place, and I was like, and I told her, I was like, I think I know how I'm gonna end. When I started doing Elysian Fields, I had two specific endings in mind.
Right on.
And I wasn't sure which one I wanted to go with. And then when I finished issue 4, I had introduced a character that I'm really happy that I got in, because she is a character that I really like, and she's very obscure. Like you would only know about it if you have read like everything about the Trojan War. And so like it was very fun to get her into there. And so the ending involves her. And so I was like, she gets to read everything I write, because I have ADHD and I need like instant gratification. So I'll send her like every single time that I hit like a milestone in an issue, I'm like, you need to read this. And she goes, okay. And then she's like, yeah, this is fantastic. And she'll give me any notes that she has, because she's awesome like that. But like, yeah, it like came to me. And so I told her about it. I was like, yeah, that's fantastic. Do you ever stop working? And I went, no. The wheel is always turning.
I have a feeling, Michael, and I am sorry to say this, and Miranda as well, I am sorry, it'll never stop. I think the problem with being creative and actually working in a creative field and pushing yourself to it is the ideas never stop. And as a result of that, like I'm getting into writing prose, right? I've been published, which is super cool. But as a result of it, because I want to keep going at it, every time an idea pops into my head, I have a note on my phone and I go, idea, put it down, wake up, have a thought, and then I sit down and I write at it. I don't feel it right now. Step away, do something else, do chores, come back. All right, go to work, come back on my lunch break. Oh, you know what, actually, and then sit down and consolidate. And that alone, on top of daily life, woof, a lot of work. And now amp in, you're doing a campaign. You need to get people to know about it. You got to come talk to weirdos like me. You've got to post about it.
You're not nearly the weirdest person I've talked to, so no worries.
Well, I don't know if they take that as a good thing or not, but I'll take it as a compliment. But like you probably have a full-time day job, like most creative people.
Yes.
You then have the work of making the book, and then you have the real work of getting people to notice the book and support the book. Find your creators, find your artists, vet artists, read their stuff, see if you like it's, oh my God, it's so much. That yes, to get to this point that you're doing this and you're on this show with me and all of that, like it is so much work. So I hope you can find work-life balance, but I believe that is in vain. Because even if you could do this full time,
I appreciate the sympathies. I'm sure I'm going to get yelled at, Miranda, after this. Like, you are going to figure it out. In all seriousness, she's incredibly supportive. She's incredibly supportive, and a lot of the reason why I even pushed through and did this is because of her support and her pushing me. And she's been one of the best things to come in my life in a long time.
Oh, that is so sweet. Also hilarious, because the comment she just dropped of the ADHD is a superpower for this stuff. Yeah, it really is. Yeah. Love it. Miranda, you're fantastic. So, Michael, we've gone way longer than I normally would want to ask this question, but we are at the normal end of my show, but we started a little late because of some scheduling hiccups on my end, so we still got time. But an important question nonetheless. We've talked a lot about this book, about what it's about. You drop the wickedest tagline, which is basically Mortal Kombat meets mythological characters, starring Achilles, Heracles, and Hyppolite, which is amazing. But if people want to get the book, I mean, already 115 people backed it. You've got all your funds, so the book is getting made. People are getting the book, If more people want to get the book, though, they got to know how to get the book. So I'm going to click this button here, and can you walk us through the tiers of awesomeness that people can get?
Absolutely. So obviously we have our digital tier, which is only $5. So, I try to make that as affordable as I can. And so then we have all of our covers. And what I will say about this is I'm a firm believer of, unless a edition has more to offer than another, there should be no price difference. So every single cover is the exact same price, and you can add on any additional cover as well. There will there are no real shipping penalty. Like I'd add like $1 or $2 here or there, but I also save people a lot of money. For international backers, $15 shipping is like the best I can do. But like we've got our A variant, which is done by the main team. We've got the V. Ken Marion cover, which because at 5K, this one gets a pretty sick upgrade. So this is the V. Ken Marion Andrew Dollhouse Lionhearted edition. And at 5K, it gets upgraded to having a silver foil. And it looks just absolutely stunning. And then, so like you get that. And so I should note that it's $15 and that's your digital and your comic. So effectively all of the books are $10. And so then for Von Randall, we got Von Randall and Robert Nugent did a beautiful cover. These names, if they're familiar to you, it's because they work on a small book you might know called Spawn. They're pretty great. Just a tiny book. And then we've got this Zachary Pimentuan, who is a new guy that I found. So one of the things that I wanted to do is Supergiant Games did their full platform release of Hades 2. This past literally in the past couple of weeks, and I wanted to have a cover that paid homage to the visual style of those games. The art director of Hades 2 is of the Hades games is both out of my price range and not open for commissions or anything like that. So off the table. But I started to look around because there's some very, very talented artists who do fan art of the Hades franchise. And so that's how I found Zach. I found him on ArtStation. I found he had done some submissions to the fan art contest, and his art was stunning. It was identical. And I hit him up. Turns out he's a 20-year-old art student. This was his first professional gig, and he did everything.
Oh, shut up. That's so cool. I mean, good for him.
But like, look at how amazing this is. And at 6K, that one gets an upgrade to Rainbow Holofoil. Look at that. Also stunning, gorgeous, and yeah. Who doesn't love a good holo? Right. But yeah, so like we really lucked out on just having nothing but stunners for covers. And I'm very happy with it.
Oh, hell yeah. Oh, actually. Oh, you've got them all. All right, cool. We'll just go right here.
Yeah, I'm no slouch on it. I've got it. I've got you.
You're in. You're all right. All right. So yeah. So as a quick recap, again, the digital copy. If someone just wants to get the digital copy, they're not worried about print, which I don't know why you wouldn't want print. Anyway, they can have it for $5, $7 Canadian. Cool, cheap, easy, 44-page book. Love it.
Yes,
$15 a pop for the physicals. Gets the digital, which they can get by email. I'm assuming quite quickly once the campaign is over, given it's done.
It's literally going to be the moment that the moment that we cross over the funding thing is everyone is going to get the digital copy like that.
Love it. So
like it's going to be very quick.
34 days. 34 days, you can have your digital copy, and then sometime after that, based on shipping and how well that works out, they'll have their physical that they can hang on a while.
Yeah, that really just depends on how long it takes for Kickstarter to release the funds, and then it's printer. We've got some merchandise that people are have the ability to get. So we've got like the Nine Realms Publishing hat, which I'm wearing right now. You're able to get there. We have a couple of fantastic T-shirts. We've got one where there's an awesome 2-page spread where Achilles is killing Memnon in the first 12 pages of the book. And so I had our colorist take out Achilles from that. And so it's literally Achilles like slashing across your chest and there's a blood streak in his wake. And so that's like the main shirt of the campaign. Then we've got, we made a T-shirt of the V. Ken Marion cover for both men and women. There's a woman's tank top and a men's shirt. And then Elysian, and then we have the Coffer of Glory, which is that box that you see there. So what that comes with is you get all the covers of the book. You get 3 acrylic standees of Achilles, Hippolyta, and Heracles. And then you get the T-shirt, that Achilles / T-shirt, and that's for $200. If you want to spend a little bit more, though, we have the panoply upgrade of that, which gets you all 4 covers of the book and 4 metal covers of the book, and then everything else. So yeah, and then there's the original art tiers, which are beautiful.
Oh, yeah, stunner. Yeah, that is an amazing price for original art. I will say there is absolutely some
going ahead and get it
buff out there. Oh yeah, like, but there's some history and mystery mythology buff out there. I don't know, maybe they're 14, just getting into it. Maybe they're 50 years old. They're going to see this and just absolutely lose their mind. And I think these are fantastic. I've seen the standees. I don't have any. I've seen a lot of them. They're really interesting to me. So sick. And that's a beautiful way to present it as well.
Maybe you should get the box, Konrad. Get yourself some of them standees. Have all 3. Maybe you should.
Maybe I should. And then you got, so like you said, with the original arts, you have the cover for 500 US, I think in Canadian, that's 650 or 700.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Now, so you're doing all the cover. Oh, brutal. Awesome.
Yeah. All of like the only one that did not do that did theirs digitally completely was Zach. So Von Randall's cover, you can get the fully inked version from him for $1,000. And then V. Ken Marion's fully inked cover piece. And he's going to I'm fairly certain he's even going to throw in the original thumbnails that he did to let me know what ideas he's having. I think that's what he said that he was going to throw in. So that's for $2K. And just saying, if somebody gets that V. Ken Marion cover gets this lovely upgrade, because we're past 4K. So if you get that, all the people who get this cover, they unlock it for everyone. They also unlock they will unlock all the holofoils. And then I'll have to figure out how I'm going to upgrade Von Randall's
campaign. Cover. That's all we need. That'd be amazing. Oh yeah, that's fantastic. I love it. We funded Hype Man sticker. Love it.
Yeah. So I haven't had a chance to update the campaign today because this happened. We literally cost 4K while I was at work, dealing with shenanigans at the Pentagon. So the Hype Man sticker is there's a 2-page spread that introduces Achilles where he's riding in on a chariot, and one of the Greeks there is just out of his mind excited. And when I noticed how pumped up this dude was, I was like, okay, this guy is our hype man, and we're gonna Where's Waldo him into every single issue of this as like an extra in the arena, just going nuts. And so like Hype Man is going to be our like forever Easter egg. And so the Hype Man sticker is the second stretch goal that we did. We've unlocked the cover A upgrade, which is, as I said, we have unlocked that, lava holofoil, which is a cool thing because when I did the 0 issue, we did the same this is the same upgrade we did that the 0 issues cover as our like funding stretch goal, was everyone got a holofoil upgrade to their book. And so it's the same pattern and everything like that. It's just a beautiful way to kind of homage it and make it so it's like, that was literally 5 years ago to the day when I launched this campaign. And so it was just nice symmetry there.
Yeah, I love it. Well, you know what, Michael? I think this is a fantastic campaign. Again, congrats, because you're done. You've crossed the finish line. Now it's just bonus. But yeah, we are at the 4-minute left mark. So to sort of wrap up our interview, one important question: if the folks out there want to follow you online, where's the place that you're most active?
So I feel like that's a double-edged sword because, all right, so if you want to follow me to keep up with my creative endeavors, follow me on Facebook and Instagram, 9 Realms Publishing or 9RP Comics. If you really want to see me complain about the current production status of Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey and other silly things, you can follow me at Elysian Fields _0 on Twitter or X or whatever they're deciding to call themselves this week. But like that's where I am over there. So yeah, like those are the places to follow me.
Right on. Okay. So again, so the Instagram and which other platform were best for your creative endeavors? Facebook?
Facebook. 9 Realms Publishing on Facebook and 9RP Comics on Instagram. Am I coming through broken? Two.
And I'm back.
I can hear you. Your screen's
Do I have
frozen.
you back, Michael?
I'm here.
There we go.
Woo! This is always like the big anxiety with streaming is like, are we going to go through without it freezing?
Oh, I think we're good. Maybe?
I think so.
Michael, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me? Abbott and Costello.
I can hear you loud and clear. There we go. Woo. I think that is the internet letting us know, hey, you're at your hour. Michael, and so just to make sure, again, it's 9 Realms Publishing, the hub, your creative hub. Your online handles for 9 Realms are 9RP. Or sorry, I think it's at 9R Publishing, correct?
It's at 9RP Comics. You were right the first time. You got it. And then 9 Realms Publishing is like, you'll find us on Facebook.
There we go. Okay, perfect. Then yeah, Michael, absolutely. I wanted to say thank you so much for taking the time to come on the show and talk Elysian Fields Reborn with me. It's genuinely been fantastic.
Well, thank you so much, Konrad. Thank you for having me on, and thanks for the kind words.
Absolutely. And for the folks at home in YouTube land, once again, Google, you can hop on Google Kickstarter, just search up Kickstarter Elysian Fields, Nine Realms Publishing.
Well, I'm just going to hang out here and kind of hijack things until Konrad comes back because that's fun. How are you doing, chat? Is there anyone watching? We hanging out with anyone cool this evening? Konrad's back, of course. Chat, just chill out. We didn't say anything bad while he was away. Yeah. It's all good.
I trust you.
Oh, man, are you freezing again? Oh, no. Oh, man. He is frozen. You see, this is a very ironic thing because I'm like notorious for internet issues. So like, it's very weird being on the other side of this for a change.
Oh, well, I mean, good.
There you go. You're back. You're completely back now. No lag, no nothing. All right.
Weird.
So
cool. Launching.
I believe you have one last question for me because you ask it to all of your guests.
Yes, I do. The full question. Often the folks who make comics, and as I've learned, you absolutely are one of these people, because you also studied history, classics, mythology, tried to take up Greek, classic Greek. People like that, often when they create comics, they also collect comics or something else. Us nerds, we tend to do that. We hoard things, like you are. So, Michael, what is one of the things in your collection, maybe not the most expensive, maybe not the most valuable, but what's the thing that makes you the most happy?
Okay. So this right here, there is a story. So this is signed by Stan Lee, but that's not the reason why this issue is important. So this is Amazing Spider-Man issue 96. Oh, no, that's 96 is the year that it came out. I'm blanking on the actual issue number, but this issue of Amazing Spider-Man was the first ever Marvel comic published without the stamp of the Comic Code Authority. And so effectively,
that's cool.
in the 80s, Stan Lee was approached, or maybe even the 70s, Stan Lee was approached about, so obviously then it's Amazing Spider-Man 96. I don't know why I'm tripping over myself. Point is, in the 70s or 80s, Stan Lee was approached by the Department of Health Services because at the time it was Reagan's war on drugs was like the big thing in the headlines. And so they wanted Stan Lee to do an anti-drug issue of Spider-Man. And so he did one. And that's this book. It got submitted to the Comic Codes Authority, and the Comic Code Authority rejected it. And Marvin Goodman, the editor-in-chief, said that he trusted Stan to do what he wanted. And Stan said, screw them, I'm publishing it anyway. I got this signed at the last Awesome Con Stan Lee ever attended.
Ooh.
So this is, I don't even know if it's my most valuable thing. I don't really care. But this is my favorite thing that I have in my collection because it is a stand against censorship, because that's what the Comics Code was. It was censorship. It was censorship that was built upon a BS psychological book called The Seduction of the Innocent by this German psychologist in the 1950s that was used to drum up parents groups and activists into bullying comics into having the Comics Code. So this was the first major blow to the Comics Code. And after that, it was dominoes. And we're better off without them. But
100%.
that is my favorite thing that I have in my collection.
That is super cool. I've come across a few things. I used to work at a comic shop called Nowhere Comics. Lovely group of people. And we had a issue of Alpha Flight, which was the first ever comic Jim Lee did at one of the major.
Awesome.
That was cool. That book that you have, sir, is a piece of literal comics history, which is amazing. The fact that it's signed by Stan Lee, wicked. But the fact that just for what it is, that is a super cool thing to have in your collection. So, Michael, that is sick. You've made a sick book, and I love it. I mean, it's already successful, but I wish you all the success in the world. But yeah, you are a fantastically interesting person. And yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for coming on the show, man.
Dude, it's my pleasure. Would love to come back and chat with you at any point. If you're ever just like, hey man, I don't have a guest this week. You want to come on and hang out and just shoot the shit? I will gladly come and do it. This was a blast.
Love it. I'm glad to hear it. Yeah, it was great. Again, folks out there, Google or hit on Google, hit on whatever your search engine you prefer. Kickstarter, Nine Realms Publishing, or Elysian Fields Reborn. You will find this book. You will back it. You will get an amazing book. Digital, just $5. $15 will get you a hard copy. Go crazy, get $200 in US and get all the things: t-shirt, standees, and a wicked sticker of the Hype Man. As always, folks, thank you for tuning in. Like, comment, subscribe, and yeah, we will see you next time. Have a good one.
Golden age to present, digest to oversize. Never miss new comic day. Yeah, no surprise. So where's my no prize? Check the letter columns. Can't find issue 2? Collector problems, cliffhangers, mysteries. You need answers. When did Batman